Welcome to The Runner Soul. This is the podcast where running meets science, stride by stride. And who am I? I am Sharon Miller, resident podiatrist of 20 years and runner and unapologetic foot nerd. So today we're joined by somebody who spends a huge amount of time encouraging runners, not just to run faster, but to keep on showing up. Please welcome Laura Thornton. Laura, it's lovely to see you and thank you for joining us today. And for anyone who hasn't come across you before, tell us a little bit about yourself and how running found you.
Sure. Wow. Way to start off, Sharon. Gosh, that's a tough one. So I'm a mom of three. My husband is like my backbone. He's not a runner. So without him, I just want to say thank you to him for making all this possible.
Let's give him a clap because
yes.
not every, female has that backup. They might be married, but they're still doing it all basically. So well done him.
100%. And I often get sad that running found me so late in life. It didn't find me till I was 43. But I often say it found me whenever I needed it. Right? And so I initially started, I didn't start running. I started after my husband got me a Peloton bike and I started riding the bike. I bought him a treadmill and
then you swapped, did you?
I was hoping he would use it for walking. He was recovering from an injury. And then before you know it, it was collecting dust. And I said, let me give this walk running thing a try. And the rest is history, as they say. So 4 years, I've been running 4 years now.
Wonderful. That's fantastic. And how do you sort of fit it in with the kids? And, do you run in the mornings? Do you have like a set schedule and just kind of stick to that schedule?
Yeah, 3 a.m. My alarm goes off Monday.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. That's like practically during the night.
It is. Actually, there's a study that says 3 a.m. is like the hour where most people have like a heart attack. I've read that study more than once.
Well, see, you're not taking any chances. You're making sure you're out of that bed by then.
I'm up. I'm downstairs in my gym. I am either running or lifting weights, whatever. And then on the weekends, I sleep in a little bit. I started my long run at 5:15 this morning, so a little later. But every day before I get the kids off to school and then I work, I'm done, right? I get it done.
Wonderful. You're like super mom.
Well, I do have Wonder Woman tattooed on my arm. So like,
I'm not surprised.
You're so kind. But for me, it's a non-negotiable because I'm going to take care of everybody else. And
definitely.
But I go to bed really early. I'm in bed by 6:30 every night. Again, wouldn't be possible if I didn't have help. And I don't know how long I'll be able to run. So while I can run, I want to maximize every second. You never know.
But what makes you feel that there's going to be some sort of a restriction on how long you can run for?
Yeah. Well, after I ran the Las Vegas Marathon back in October, I had PR'd my marathon. I finished the race and had been talking to my mom the whole day. And I went up to take a shower and she called me and told me my dad had died.
No.
And out of the blue. Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah. And so I had just texted with him the week before. He'd had health problems, but nothing like he didn't have a terminal illness. He just was gone. He went in to take a nap and he slept longer than he should have. And my mom went to wake him up and couldn't wake him up. And so till you can't, right? I'm going to do this until I can't. And tomorrow isn't promised for any of us.
No, it's not. It's not. And I guess in order to have good health later on, we really have, now is the investment, isn't it? Because you see people 80, 90, they're still running marathons. That's what I want to be like. Yeah, I want to be out there 100 years old, giving it,
Yes. And you know what? I want to run with my kids and their
Oh
kids.
yes,
And even if
absolutely.
I'm slower, but Sharon, I joke that I'll qualify for the Boston Marathon when I'm 75. So, that's my goal. If I could just keep the pace I'm at now, by the time I'm 75, I will qualify.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. Have you heard of Liz McColgan? She was like I think she was an English runner in the 80s.
Oh, no.
Well,
Tell me more.
yeah, she was a really good runner in the 80s, but now I notice her daughter is now taking, she's taking the torch now, and she's now doing what her
Uh,
mom, and I think they've um broken some record of like a mother and daughter winning the same sort of title. It's amazing.
what? I'm going to have
Yeah,
to read that. Oh my gosh. That's fantastic.
yeah.
Wow.
So you never know. Your children may follow in your footsteps.
I hope so. I hope so. Just whatever makes them happy, and honestly, something that will give their anxiety, give their emotions a place to go. That's what running does for me. It gives me an outlet for all of that. So,
And I guess it gives you energy as well because, being a Wonder Woman, you need a lot of energy because you have a lot of, you've got a lot of hats to juggle. So, you need energy, don't you? You need that extra
yep,
energy. You need to be
so true.
positive. You need to be, you're a mom. You've got so
Yep,
many things to juggle. So,
yep.
that extra energy has to come from somewhere.
And I used to think when I was a tired, not healthy mom, I used to think I couldn't do any of these things because I didn't have the energy for it. But turns out I need to do these things to have the energy,
Absolutely.
right?
It's a,
And
it's a real sort of lesson that you have to learn as a mom.
yes, yes. And we take care of
Because
other people. We don't take care of ourselves.
no, we're always last on the list, aren't we? We give, 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 and then we wonder why we're empty,
Yeah. Yeah. Our tanks are empty. That's right.
totally
It's a
empty.
great
And
point.
then you feel like it's your fault because you're inadequate.
Mm.
You should be able to do everything. You should be able to, milk the cows while giving birth yourself and baking bread. And you know what I mean? You kind of feel like
Yeah.
I should be able to do it all. My mom was
Yeah.
able to
You're
do
not
it all.
wrong.
My
That's
granny was
right.
able to do it all.
That's right. My mom, I still to this day, I'm like, how did you do it all? And you worked, right? But it's a different world that we live in
It's
now. And
very different and different pressures. They probably didn't have the same kind of pressures as we have. And of course, there
so
was no
true.
social media, there was no internet, so you didn't have to be perfect. You could
Yeah.
fall apart, behind closed doors, and it was
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's so true. But then
Oh,
then I do think too it was discouraged for women to fall apart behind closed door. Even behind closed doors back then, like my mom, she's by far the strongest person I know. And, now to see like after my dad, her living her life, her kids are grown. My dad is not with us, and she just recently retired, and I'm watching her live for herself. And I don't know that she's ever done that before. It was never a thing that she could do, you know? So I'm glad to see her doing that.
yes, it's good that she's having time for herself. It's a whole
Yep.
new chapter for her. Although it's a sad chapter, she misses your dad, but
Yeah.
she's going to have this special time too. Because as a woman and having children, we kind of lose our identity because we
Mm.
become somebody's mom. You know,
Mhm.
I'm even now somebody's dog mom. Sky's mom.
Ooh,
That's the dog. You lose your identity.
yes.
And it's
Yeah, it's not
especially
just about
so.
you. That's
It's
right.
especially
That's
so
right.
when you have children. You're
Yep.
so and so's mom. But as an entity, you're not a separate entity. You're somebody's mom.
Yeah, so true. So true.
And then, of
Goodness.
course, the children grow up. I mean, my boys are 30 and 31 now. And, you think they're going to fly the nest, but they still need you. You still have to be there. Still need
Yeah.
emotional support, a little bit of a
Yeah.
push here and a
Yeah.
little bit
Yeah.
of a push there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
I
never
mean,
ending.
I can imagine my oldest is my kids are going to be 17, 15, and 8. pretty soon. Like all their birthdays are within 6 weeks, and
Oh,
my
wow.
oldest is graduating this year. And
Oh, how
just
nice.
it was just yesterday though that I had him. So how could he be
I
graduating from high
know.
school?
I know. My youngest was 30 in June, and I'm like, how can I have given birth to a 30-year-old? I only feel like I'm 30 myself.
No, right. Time is a thief. It is. It is a
It
thief.
sure is. And you
Yeah.
get to a certain age and you do realize. But I think looking after your health is just the one thing, the one and big thing you could do for yourself, your family,
Yep.
everyone around you, because if you invest in you, you have more to give everybody.
100%. Absolutely.
And so have you ever, like, in the start of your journey, did you ever kind of hit a wall where you thought, I'm not doing this, it's too hard? And how did you get over that?
My first marathon. My first marathon was one of the most awful things I have ever done. It was a horrible experience. And I called my mom because my kids and my husband were there. It was actually my son's birthday. Poor kid had to go to
Oh,
Nebraska. It was like 85, 90 degrees, almost 90% humidity. It was hot.
yeah.
And I remember calling my mom a mile from the finish line, telling her, I'm never doing this again. If I ever say I'm going to run a marathon, ground me, send me to my room. My kids saw me crying. And I I remember they were cleaning up the tables for the nutrition and the drinks, and they didn't have them out anymore because I had already fallen behind my goal. And it was awful. And I quit running for a couple months. I said, I'm not going to be a runner anymore. I've done it. What else? What do I need to prove? I've run a marathon. And I remember taking a class one day, a Peloton class, and it was like a walk run class. I had just kind of taken it. And the instructor said, you are the thing that you repeatedly do. And I remember thinking, okay, I haven't really given myself a chance to be good at this. I did it once. And the irony, Sharon, the irony was I had already scheduled to run a fun race here in Colorado the week after I got back. And it was a 7K. It was the Denver Broncos. We get to finish in the stadium. I love that race every year. I ran that race, not for time, but for joy. And I had fun. I was still beat up from the marathon. I had blisters and burns but I ran for joy. And I reminded myself at that point, you don't have to do this for pressure, for
No.
time. Just do it because it makes you feel better. It makes you feel good and you have fun and you do it for you. So
Well, I guess doing the marathon, that was a very big challenge. And you obviously pushed yourself to the limit, but you came out the other side. For some people, they'd either give up during the marathon, go home, or they wouldn't do any more running after that. But like for you, yes, it did push you to your limits, but it showed you what you were made of.
it did. It did. And, there's this saying, if you've made it through 100% of your hardest days, we
Absolutely.
have. We've made it through.
You just got to keep
Yeah.
on going.
Just keep going. And I've shared this story with some friends and family, but my daughter, the end of that marathon weekend, I asked her, and she was 4 at the time, wasn't even 5. And I remember saying to her, so what lesson did you learn this weekend? And I thought she would say something like, never give up, keep going.
No.
And no. She said to me, never run a marathon.
Never run a marathon.
Never read a marathon. And at first I laughed. I was like, oh, that's so funny. And then I was mad because that wasn't the lesson I wanted to teach her. I didn't want to teach her. What if she one day wants to become a runner? I don't want her thinking my mom ran a marathon and said it was the most awful day of her life. Like that's not what I wanted her to get from it. And so I hadn't given it a chance. And now she has since seen me run 2 other marathons and an ultra.
Wow.
And
That's great.
She's coming with me. Yes, she's coming with me
They
in a
must
few
be
weeks
so
to
proud of you,
Australia.
to know that they're
Yeah.
there, in the audience shouting, Mom, Mom, go,
Oh,
Mom.
yes, she's coming to Australia, so she'll be there when I finish in Sydney. All of my kids will be there in New York. A couple of them are going to be in London. It's they get to see this.
Yeah,
And so to me, that is now what I think of is I'm setting an example for my kids.
absolutely. And they say that, yes, you did, you came to a hard place, but you didn't give up.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they were probably begging you to give up, they say, no, Mom, it's too hard. Don't do it again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Why are
And you're
you
like, no,
doing this?
I can
Why?
do it. I can do it.
That's that's exactly right. Yes, but it's okay though too.
Yeah.
It's okay for it to be hard and for us still to want to do it again.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just like giving birth, isn't it? You give birth and you
Oh,
think, never again, never
never
again.
again.
And then before you know it, you're pregnant again, you're on your sixth.
Right. I mean, and yeah, exactly. I had a pretty traumatic birth with my daughter and I can't have any more babies, but I did it
Well,
three
I think
times,
three is
right?
enough. I think you,
Three is
I
enough.
think,
I think I'm
I think
good.
so.
I think I'm good
I think
now.
you've made your contribution to society.
I have. I think so too.
Absolutely.
It's funny.
And so, do you think people often expect running to feel easier than it actually is? Do you think it's one of those things that nobody can just start running. You can't just go out there and start doing a 5K. It's that build up. It's that sort of having the patience of, yes, being able to run 1 minute, which sounds, for most people, they're like, I don't want to run a minute. I want to be able to run for an hour, a half an hour. So do you feel, that sort of build up and, getting started, people find hard?
100%. If I could tell everybody, I don't care how experienced you are, how many times you've run, how many marathons you've run, how many races you've run, the first few minutes of you being out there is really unenjoyable. It's it's uncomfortable. Your body, this morning, my body was like, "Oh, I really want to go back to sleep. Why are you doing this to me?" It's uncomfortable and it's hard. And you know what? That's when people stop. And case in point, next month, my mom is doing the 5K the day before the Sydney Marathon
That
with
is
my daughter.
amazing. That is
She's never
amazing.
run before. She's never run before,
Oh,
and she
you're
went
such an
online and
inspiration.
I'm so proud of her. But she and my 7-year-old daughter are going to do it. And my 7-year-old has run a 5K, by the way. She has run one before.
Oh, that's amazing.
But she said to me, I found online that I need to run for 1 minute and walk for 1 minute. I said, no, 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 mom. Like, that's going to be really hard. You need to do like maybe run for 30 seconds, 20 seconds, and then walk for a couple minutes. And I want her to understand it is going to feel uncomfortable. That's when it gets good. When you say, yes, it's uncomfortable, and I did it anyway.
And I did anyway. And she's going to feel so amazing, isn't she, after she does it?
Oh, I'm so proud of her. Like, how many people can say they've run a 5K in a different country?
Absolutely. But I
It's
guess,
just amazing.
but it's funny how if you hadn't have taken up running, she wouldn't probably be doing what she's doing. So, you are a great inspiration. And, if your mum keeps fit, it also means that her longevity will be longer. She'll be fitter, more mobile, hopefully live longer. So
100%. 100%. And even if she walks the whole thing, I've told her that, Mom, I don't care if you walk, if you don't run a single second, if you walk the whole thing, you had a choice that day to either go and cheer for me or be part of it. And you chose to be part of it. And that's pretty cool. So I hope that for everybody though. Like I hope that everybody gets a chance to give themselves a shot. Take a chance on you. Bet on you. And yes, it's going to be hard and it's going to be uncomfortable and you do it anyway. Life
it's
is
like
too
feel
short.
the fear and do it anyway.
Yes. 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 Growing up, I was scared of everything. Everything. So much so that I was nicknamed. Now, this is like totally, you couldn't get away with this now. But back in the 80s, I was nicknamed Pansy. Okay. That's what I was called because I was so afraid of everything. And let me tell you what, when I did finish that marathon in my mind, I was like, who's the pansy now? Right.
Absolutely.
Because that's what I was labeled when I was little. I was afraid of
And
everything.
isn't it funny how it stays with you as well? Do you know that happened
Mm.
so long ago, but there's always that little piece of you that it's like you've been labeled and it's like you're fighting your life to, it's like, I will show you.
Do you know I have that pansy now tattooed on my arm as
Oh,
a symbol? As a symbol. I was afraid of everything. I was. And you won't see me skydiving anytime soon. Like I can tell
no.
you that.
Me neither.
my my limits are very, very cut and dry. But I think that, I'll be 47 next month. And my goal is to run all of the majors. Well, let's say 7 of the majors before I turn 50. Because I want to show other people that even if you haven't started conquering your fears, your whatever you've been sitting on the sidelines, it's not too late. It's not too late.
Yeah.
You're not too old. You're not too
No.
anything. You're not enough of anything. It's okay. Start now.
Well, I want to see more pictures of you and your mom together. When
Oh,
she
it's
does
like
her, it's
you
going to
got
be
it.
amazing.
You-
You've got the 7-year-old, you've got you've got your mom. I mean, what?
Yeah.
That's just amazing inspiration for
Yeah.
everybody.
I am grateful. My daughter said this morning, "Why am I going to Australia?" Literally like 20 minutes from school. And I said, "Well, basically," I said, she goes, "Is it because you couldn't find a sitter for me because everybody wanted to go see you come to the race?" And I said, "Well, do you not want to come to Australia?" And she said, "No, no, no, I do." She said, "I just don't understand. You said this is your first time going. And how come I get to go 40 years before you did?"
Oh,
And I said, "Well, baby," I said, "running has given me a lot of things I didn't expect it to give me. And if I can bring you, I'm going to bring you." So, and her name is Sydney. So Sydney is going to Sydney. So
oh,
it'll
that is
be,
amazing. Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
so special. That's something she'll remember for the rest of her life.
yes, yes,
It'll
she
be a
is.
pivotal moment for her, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm 100% positive of that. We just need to make it through that flight. But once we make it through that flight, we'll be good.
But the flight is great because they'll get spoiled. There's loads of food. They keep feeding you all the time. You've got loads of films to watch. If they've got
Yeah, yeah.
their devices, can
No,
read
she'll be
books.
deviced out.
There you
Yes,
go, quick.
yes,
Give them a sleeping
yes.
pill. Put them to sleep.
Good night,
Only
baby.
kidding.
Good night. Yeah, 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 yeah. Please. Yeah, I don't need anybody coming for me. I don't need that. Yeah.
So, what are the 3 things you would say running has benefited you in your life?
Confidence, courage, and it's turned me from less of an inward person to more of an outward helping other people person. I don't know of like an eloquent way to say that other than I was so depressed and anxious and woe is me and very like all about my career and getting to the top. And now, to me, what brings me joy is connecting other people, helping somebody else, having somebody say to me, "Laura, I ran with another member of the run club, just met them, PR'd my 5K race, and never would have done that had you not introduced me to this person."
Amazing. Yeah.
Come on. And they're in their, like one of them's in their 60s. Come on.
That is amazing.
Like,
Well, I always believe that we all have a destiny, and sometimes we don't
mm,
know what that destiny is. It could be something that you'll find out in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s. Who knows? Everyone's got a destiny. And it sounds like to me, this is your destiny.
Listen, I wore waterproof mascara this morning just for comments like that. You don't always know the path that you're going to be on. You can't control it. But I will say, if you would have asked me a year ago if I would be in the rooms that I'm in right now, talking to the people that I'm talking to, I would have told you absolutely not. And it has afforded me some of the most incredible opportunities to meet some of the best people that I ever could have imagined. And
But that's
more
because
important,
you are one of those best people now.
thank you, Sharon. Thank you. I just want to help other people believe in themselves a little bit more and say, she did it. Why can't I? Why not? Why not me? That's, I mean, my mom's saying that she is going to try to run 20 seconds. Are you kidding me? She has diabetes. She works out. My brother owns a gym. My mom goes there and works out, but she is going to try for 20. I don't care what it looks like. She is going to try and she has no reason to, just
That is
nothing to
amazing.
prove.
Because of course we all have excuse-itis, don't we? We say we can't do that because, oh, my body's not built for that. Oh, I'll have an injury. Or, we find
Yeah.
excuses. And, somebody like yourself, you're just such a big inspiration that, people hearing your story, following your journey would be like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to give it a try.
I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I've shared this on social media. I don't know how many people saw it, but the day that I ran the Chicago Marathon, my dad had put in our family chat, "Good luck on your marathon today. I hope you win." And I was really mad. And this was a month before, not even a month before he passed, 3 weeks before he passed. 2 weeks, actually, 2 weeks to the day. And I was mad. I was like, why would he say, "I hope you win"? Because I thought, oh, he was teasing, right? But it took me till after he was gone to realize he always saw me as a winner. Why do we not look at ourselves the way that other people? I am the worst at it. I 100% am my toughest critic. And yet I'm telling other people, believe in yourself, try, try, try. And I often have to remind myself, would you talk to yourself like you would one of your friends? No, you would not.
Absolutely. But sometimes, that lack of confidence is not coming from us. It's not coming from our soul. It's coming from the identity other people have given us. The teacher who said, oh, you're not very good at English. You're not very good at maths. Oh, don't do that job because, you wouldn't be able for it. It'd be just too much for you. Do you know what I mean?
The man on the plane who told me I wasn't slight enough to run marathons.
Oh,
Just a few
really?
months ago. Oh yeah, 100%.
You're like,
100%.
oh, you're probably so right. Just follow my job.
I wish I had said to him afterwards, "You're right. I don't run marathons. I also run ultra marathons." Like after the fact, I thought about it, but it's not worth it. It's not. It's like people telling me
No,
treadmill miles don't count. Okay, cool. I'm glad. You're right. Treadmill miles don't count. I wouldn't be a marathoner if treadmill miles didn't count because that's how I train most of the time. Thank you for giving me that. But that's why people don't start because they
yeah,
put so much weight on that.
absolutely. Because you're a strong person, obviously, but for some people, they may not be in a strong place. So by saying something like that, that's just enough to, throw you off. It's like, for instance, I had a friend years ago when our kids were young, and she was so good at art and she wanted to be an artist, but her parents were pushing her into academia. She did go on to do a PhD and everything, and yes, she did very well in her career, but art was a passion. And I was encouraging her. I was saying, go and do an art class, la 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 la. So anyway, she eventually got to an art class, and I'm like, hallelujah. I was like so happy for her. But it just took for a teacher to just say one comment, which was, that's interesting. And that was enough.
That was it.
That was it. And I'm like, but she probably meant interesting as in good interesting. She goes, no,
Right.
I was no good. I was no good. And she never went back.
And that was it.
Yeah. So we have to be careful what we say, because we may say things flippantly, even to our children, but
Oh,
what we
yeah.
say will stay with them for,
Words
a
matter.
lifetime.
Words matter.
Absolutely.
And again, how we talk to ourselves, who we surround ourselves with. Um, you become like the people that you spend the most time with. I believe that. And the voices that you have inside your head. And I have 2 friends right now who are training to run their first marathon. And I am trying to remind them that the mindset training is just as important as the physical training, because when you get to mile 20, you're on a bridge, you're hitting that wall. I want you to be curious enough about what's on the other side of the wall so you'll push through. But if we tell ourselves right now, this is hard, I can't do this, you're not going to be able to do it.
Yes.
So it's such a conundrum. But if I can just have a little part in their journey to get them to that finish line, then I win. They win. We all win. And that to me means a lot.
That's so wonderful. That's great. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, and thank you for sharing your journey and hearing about your mom and your daughter. I feel so inspired after speaking to you.
Oh, Sharon. Well, you know what? I'm going to make sure you get pictures of
Oh,
Sydney in
love
Sydney
it.
in Sydney.
Love it. Please.
And
Yes, please do.
of course, I will. And thank you for having me on. And thank you for what you do for the running community and for just inspiring and sharing stories that other people will listen to. And again, just believe in themselves a little bit more.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.
You're so welcome. Bye. Oh.
Thank you for striding through this episode of our podcast. If you've enjoyed today's episode and you'd love to hear more, please join our Facebook community, and you can share your stories. You can ask us questions and we'll be happy to answer them. And you can continue learning. The link is in the show notes. And if you would like one of our consultations, please do get in touch and we can book that for you. We only have a small amount of consultations every week, so please do give us notice and we will try to do our best to fit you in. So if you've got any questions, if you're a diabetic runner, you want to run safely with diabetes, you want to know what kind of shoes you should wear, if the shoes that you are currently wearing need to be replaced, then please do give us some notice and we'll book you in for that. And we do have a free runner's guide especially for you, and there's lots of hints and tips and foot care health checks in there. So please do download for your reference and information. And remember, guys, how your physical and mental health are deeply connected. And these will impact every aspect of your life, from your relationships to your children, your relationships with your partner, how you see yourself, your self-esteem, your confidence, your mindset. It's all connected. So please do spend some time, take time out for yourself, because it will definitely impact your life on a positive level. So when you move better, you feel stronger, you take care of yourself, then you're more able to take care of others, and it can also impact your confidence, your mindset, and your overall happiness.